What's up, guys? It's the Ginger
and the Bear coming at you.
And we're breaking down how Jake Paul knocked out Gib, because as much as people like to shit on YouTuber boxing, this is a perfect example of how when one fighter knows even just a little bit of technique and the other doesn't,
he can completely smash the like button. If you guys want to see more videos, we're gonna break down what techniques was able to land Jake Paul the victory. We can start off with Jake Paul's stances, called a long guard, right? People like Joe Louis, one of my favorite boxers, does this guard, right? So he's able to guard his chin with his shoulder, and at the same time he's able to catch anything coming at him to his face with his right hand, right?
The opposite end of the spectrum, instead of being long, Gib was incredibly squared up and short. And we're not talking height. Like, Gib is short too, and that makes it even worse because Jake's the taller, longer fighter with reach. But Gib was super narrow and very, very, very squared up. If you look at my feet, they're literally in a straight line.
And we can kind of see where Gib was going with this, right? He wanted to try to Mike Tyson Jake Paul, right? He was doing a lot of bobbing and weaving, and he was pivoting and stuff like that. But unfortunately with Mike Tyson, his hips are very square to his opponent. His guard is like this. But if you notice one key difference, this was Gib's stance and this is Mike Tyson, right?
His feet aren't parallel to each other.
And this is key because he's able to get a lot more momentum and a lot more hip rotation into his shots, and he's able to stay balanced. So when you have no balance, this is what happens. You're able to fall. As opposed to Jake Paul, he has 50% here and 50% here. If somebody comes to push me,
I can do this all day and Alex isn't gonna fall over.
Yes, exactly.
That's why Gib was knocked down, I think, 3 or 4 times.
Right, which ended the fight, right?
But there's another major flaw with Gib's whole strategy with the bobbing and weaving that he was trying to just walk in on Jake like this, is that you have to be a phenomenal, freakish athlete. Like, Mike Tyson is a once-in-a-generational athlete who conditioned his fucking balls off since he was like 11. That is not our boy Gib. As much as a funny, likable dude he is, he's not a freak athlete. And you could tell within the first 20 seconds, his whole defensive plan was to bob and weave, and he got tired. And then he went from doing this to doing this. His guard was this wide, he was straight up and down, so Jake Paul just went bob. Right down the middle. And you saw with Jake, he was able to really turn into his strikes since he had the nice longer stance, and that's why the 1-2 just put Gib straight out, and Gib had literally no defense for it.
And so if you guys are going into sparring or anything like that, you guys might be hearing of head movement or bob and weave and stuff like that. Yes, those are great technical things to have under your belt, but you need to use them at the right time. Showing this all the time before you're even in punching range of your opponent.
And let's be honest, that looked way better than anything Gib did in the whole fight.
It's going to give away what your defensive strategy before you can even implement it.
Yeah.
His guard was even terrible as well. It's like it hit me right down the middle.
Essentially, it sounds mean because Gibbs seems like a nice guy, but he essentially did nothing right in the actual fight. I think he thought that he was gonna show up, he was gonna be tough, and he was gonna like literally just run at Jake. And that does work until people actually have a little bit of technique to really get somebody down.
And this YouTuber boxing has really highlighted, if you have technique and you have even a semblance of athleticism about you, you're going to be able to dominate your opponent.
Just being a tough guy is not enough. You still have to have the technique to be a pressure fighter too.
With that being said, this is our take on the whole entire fight.
Yeah, smash that like button harder than Jake Paul smashed Gibbs' nose.